good evening to all. Welcome back. Sorry, to the TCS Academy for Competition. So, in the previous lecture, we would be able to cover there are some introductory aspects of the economics, right? Okay. So, we would be able to understand the definition of economics, and there are two branches of economics, microeconomics and macroeconomics. And incremental capital output ratio, why this has to be calculated, what is the importance of this particular tool with which so we could able to measure very important the thing, that is productivity of an additional investment made in the economy, whether to go for additional investment or not. Okay, so this is one of the important tool, incremental capital output ratio, with which we could able to measure the productivity of the capital that is being invested in the economy extra. Okay, and so these are the several important aspects that we could able to cover in the previous session. So dear friends, today in this session I will take you through a very important concept in economics, that is the basic concepts in economics, that is central problems of an economy, right? Okay, so as we all know that every economy must confront with the three fundamental economic problems. Okay? Every economy has to come across the three important fundamental problems of an economy, right? What to produce, how to produce, whom to be produced. Okay? So as I told you, every economy must confront with the three fundamental problems. One is what to produce, how to produce, whom to be produced. Okay, so let's analyze these important the problems of an economy. So before going to jump into the topic, so let's have a look, let's have a light on what are the causes of economic problems. It is very important. Why these problems are created? Why these problems? Okay, why these problems? As I told you, so basically every economy should undergo the three important economic problems: what to produce, how to produce, whom to be produced. So basically we need to understand why these problems which will be faced by every economy. Understand very clearly, as we know that problems, why there is a problems. Okay, as we know very well, human wants are unlimited, right? Human wants are unlimited. Okay, why these problems? Because every economy, whether the developed economy or developing economy, each and every economy has to face these problems. Why there is the central problems of an economy? Because unlimited wants. Number one, this is the first cause for every economic problems. Okay, so number one. Number two is limited resources. Limited resources. So number 3, these resources which are alternative uses. Alternative users. Is it clear? So we understand central economic problems for economy. What to produce, how to produce, whom to be produced. So basically, why these problems occur in every economy, irrespective of the economies, irrespective of the country, irrespective of the region. Right? Because human wants are unlimited. Human wants are unlimited. To satisfy those wants, so we have a limited resources. Even the country like US, okay, even the country like US has limited resources to satisfy all its wants, because unlimited wants, unlimited challenges to be faced. Okay, in order to tackle those problems, every economy has resources. But those resources which are available for us to tackle such basic wants, we have a limited resources. And though those resources which are available for us, which can be put into different uses. So that is the reason why there are 3 central economic problems that we could able to see in every economy. What to produce, how to produce, whom to be produced. Clear? Yeah. ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಉದ್ಭವ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಂಬರ್ 1, ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್, ಏನ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ದ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್, ಹೌ ಮಚ್, what to produce and how much to be produced. Here, that is one thing. ಏನನ್ನು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಂಬರ್ 2, how to produce, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎರಡನೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಯಾರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, to whom the goods and services have to be produced. So these are the 3 economic problems. As I mentioned, ಪ್ರತಿ ಎಕಾನಮಿನಲ್ಲಿ these problems are must. Then why these problems, ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು ಉದ್ಭವ ಆಗ್ತವೆ? ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಆಸೆಗಳು ಅಪರಿಮಿತವಾಗಿವೆ. Human wants are unlimited. The wants of a country, wants of an economy are unlimited. ಪ್ರತಿ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಬೇಡಿಕೆಗಳು ಅಗಾಧವಾಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಂಬರ್ 1. ನಂಬರ್ 2, ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ದೇಶದ ಬಯಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಈಡೇರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ರೈಟ್. ಮೂರನೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳಸಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So we have some resources, those resources which are limited in nature and which can be put into different uses, alternative uses that resources are having. So ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಅರ್ಥವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ. Is it clear? Let me move on to the further. Now let's take up the first important the concept, what to produce. Okay, so number 1, what to produce, and what quantities. So this is the basic problem. The first and foremost, the problem of an economy is what to produce. Is it clear? Yeah. What possible commodities to be produced whether to produce a more food item, clothing, or housing, or luxury goods. Okay, so whether to produce, whether to produce, whether to produce food, the basic necessities of life, or clothing, houses, whether houses have to be built, and whether we can go for luxury goods. Okay, whether to produce food items or clothing or houses or any luxury goods have to be produced. Okay, whether to produce more food or more luxury goods. Okay, so whether to produce more clothing or less houses. So this is the central problem of an economy. And whether to use more of our resources. Okay, as we already gone through that, the resources which are available for us to satisfy the wants which are not enough, which are not plenty, which are having scarcity. So we have a scarcity of resources. We do not have enough resources to satisfy all our challenges, to satisfy all our issues, to all our wants. Clear? So that is the reason why the problem arises, whether more resources to be used, to produce the food item, or whether how much resources to be used in the production of luxury goods. Okay, that is the question. So there is a problem. Okay, whether to use more resources in order to provide the military services, right? Military services. So that is a problem. Okay, so whether we use more resources to education or education system in the country. So this is the problem. Okay, how much resources to be used? How we could able to give the priority? Whether we should able to give the priority to produce more military services, military equipments, education, luxury goods, houses has to be constructed, infrastructure has to be created, railway lanes have to be built, bridges have to be constructed. That is the question. Okay, because so we have a limited resources. That is the question. Clear? Now, so as we know that, what type of goods to be produced, whether we produce the consumer goods, whether we produce more consumer goods, further consumer goods or capital goods, right? Capital goods. Yeah. So whether our resources have to be fully utilized or how much resources have to be utilized in producing consumer goods. So now the question arises, what are consumer goods? Consumer goods are those goods, okay? So in the consumer goods itself, we have two types of consumer goods, okay? So one is perishable and durable, right? Perishable consumer items, rice, wheat, fruits, vegetables. Clear? And now, what are the durable consumer goods? Durable consumer goods are laptop and washing machine and oven, etc. Okay? The consumer goods, whether we use our resources to produce the consumer goods and capital goods. What are capital goods? capital goods are those goods with which we can produce further goods and services. Okay, in the production process, we use machineries, we use technology, we use expertise, we use equipment. So those goods which are considered as capital goods. Clear? Capital goods are those goods with which we could able to produce further goods and services. Am I clear to you? Yes. Let's move on to the another thing. So now, everything cannot be produced, as we know very well. That is the reason why this problem has arises. Okay, as we all know that. So we have a limited resources. Limited resources. That is the major hurdle for us in the production process. Clear? We have a limited resources, so therefore, we have to choose wisely whether more of our resources to be used in the production of luxury goods, food items, military services, and education and healthcare, etc. Or whether we should produce more consumer items or capital goods, etc. So that is the reason. So we have a limited resources. We have scarcity of resources. Okay, how much resources we require in order to tackle those issues of the economy. That much resources we do not have. That is the reason why the problem arises. What to produce? What quantity of luxury goods have to be produced? What quantity of military services have to be created? What sort of education system that we have to create? Okay, the question arises. Okay, make a choice between these goods and services. That is very important. Judiciously and wisely, country has to choose one or two resources, one or two items, one or two challenges to be tackled initially. So that is the reason, wisely and judiciously, so we have to make a choice between the different goods and services that we have to create in the economy. Clear? Suppose I'll make you very clear understanding of the particular topic, what to produce and what quantities, right? Okay. Suppose take an example. If a farmer has a single piece of agricultural land, then he has to make choice between two goods, whether this particular land to be used in the production of paddy or wheat. Okay, so there is a problem, because the farmer do not have enough resources. He has only limited piece of land, say 1 acre or 2, right? So there is a subdivision and fragmentation of land holdings that we do find among the farmers in India, right? So therefore, this particular theory, this particular problem, which is tackled with the price theory. Okay, price theory. Okay, the price theory in economics, which guides to tackle this particular problem. Okay, so that is what to produce and what quantities. Is it clear? Now, so let's move on to the next issue. Next issue in the economy. So that is how the goods and services have to be produced. Number 2, how the goods and services have to be produced. Okay, so this is another important challenge before every economy, right? So let me explain the first important economic problems in Kannada. ಏನು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಏನ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಗಾತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಫುಡ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೌಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಲಕ್ಸುರಿ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆರ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ಗೆ ಹಣವನ್ನು ತೊಡಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಲಪಡಿಸಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ. ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇದೆ. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನು, ಯಾವ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು? ಫುಡ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕ್ಲೋದಿಂಗ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೌಸಸ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೌಸಸ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಾಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಲಕ್ಸುರಿ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಗೆ ಮೂಲ ಕಾರಣ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದಾವೆ. ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳ ಕೊರತೆ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್. ಆ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಎಕಾನಮಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ತರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಪೆರಿಷಬಲ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್, ಒಂದ್ ಸಾರಿ ಆ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ದ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಚ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ದ ಪ್ಯಾಡಿ, ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ರೈಸ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ರೈಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮುಗ್ದೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ತಿಂದಾದ ನಂತರ, ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಅದು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಪೆರಿಷಬಲ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಡ್ಯೂರಬಲ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾವ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಬಲ್ಸ್? ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಷಿನ್, ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್, ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹೌಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಡ್ಯೂರಬಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್. ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಈಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಮಷಿನರೀಸ್, ಇಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟೈಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಒಂದು ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಈ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬಗೆಹರಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿ. ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಥಿಯರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಪರಿಹಾರವನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. Let's move on to the second important, the problems of an economy is how the goods and services have to be produced. How? First one is what? Second one is how. So let's understand. Once the goods produced and deciding, once we have decided some goods to be produced, okay, some 10, 20 washing machine has to be produced. Clear? That is one thing. The next problem arises, how to produce. Okay, whether to use more resources in the production process, whether to use more machinery in the production process, whether to use more technology in the production process. Okay, that is the second important question. How to produce, whether to use more labor in the production of goods and services, whether to be used more machineries, equipments, technology. Okay, how? There are very different ways making things. For example, clothes can be produced by employing more labor or less machinery, or more machinery and less labor. Here, how to produce? Whether to use more labor in the production process or less machineries. Whether to use more technology and less labor. So that the area we need to think. Okay, and if the goods and services are produced by employing more labor, less capital, understand very clearly. So if goods and services are produced in an economy by employing more labor, yeah, more labor and less technology, right? Less capital. This particular technique in the production process, so we call it as labor oriented technology. Here, labor oriented production. Is it clear? Suppose if more technology to be used, okay, suppose we use more technology and less labor, so this particular production activity which is known as capital oriented technique, production process. There we have to take the decision. So here, so there is a differences of opinion between Gandhi and Nehru at the time of independence. Okay, so Gandhi is stressed the importance of labor oriented technology because we have more labor to be used in the production process, so that the people are getting jobs, so that they encourage, okay, to produce the goods and services in the cottage and village industries. Okay, so more and more small scale and cottage industries have to be encouraged, so that this particular cottage and small scale industries which use more labor, so that the labor will be getting the jobs. That is their view. As far as Nehru is concerned, by the time Nehru had been many countries, he has been many countries visited, and he came to know that without the help of technology, without the help of capital, we cannot able to provide the basic necessities of goods and services for all the people, for growing population. So his view is like that. Okay. In the production process, as far as Nehru is concerned, the capital to be used more, less labor. Yeah. So this is also one of the important, the area needs to be concentrated. Yeah. Okay. If the goods and services are produced by employing more machinery, that is called capital oriented technology. If in the production process more and more labors are used, less capital, that is called labor oriented technique. Okay, that is a question. That is called, we call it as how the goods and services to be produced. Whether to use labor oriented technique or capital oriented technique. So this particular, how this particular issue has to be tackled. Okay, so this particular issue will be solved in different economic structure. So there we come across economic system. In different economic systems are having the different viewpoint in this regard. Yeah, yeah. So let's move on to another important. The issue of an economy is, that is, for whom to be produced. For whom to be produced. Whom to be produced. For whom to be produced. Okay. It is not possible and satisfy everyone's wants, because wants are unlimited to satisfy the wants of rich, average people and BPL. Okay, below poverty line. The people who comes under the below poverty line, so they have their wants, and the people who are average people, they have their wants, and luxury people, and they have their want, rich people. Because of scarcity of resources, we cannot able to take the decisions. Okay, whose wants have to be fulfilled first. Okay, so that means we have to take the decision. It must be decided to whose wants to be satisfied first. Whether the poorer people wants have to be satisfied and richer people wants have to be satisfied. The problem of home to produce tell us how different factors of production are compensated for their work. As we know very well, in the process of production, we use certain factors, right? Certain factors, okay? So which are those factors? Basically, there are 4 factors. One is land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Okay, so these are the factors of productions with which we are producing some goods and services. In return, so we have to give the reward for these factors of production, like land. For the land, we give reward, rent. Yeah, rent is the reward given to the land. Land has been used in the production process, and wages or salaries have to be given for the labors, and capital which it will get interest, and entrepreneurship is getting the profit, right? So that is a problem, right? For whom to be produced? Okay. Now, so very important how these economic problems have to be solved, how these economic problems have to be tackled. That is a question. So in order to understand how these economic problems which will be solved in an economy, okay, so there arises the resource allocation, because resources which are available, which are not available in plenty, right? Resource allocation. How we are going to allocate, how we are going to put into use those resources, what to produce, how to produce, whom to be produced. Now, so before understanding how these resources have to be used, for that we need to understand the 3 economic systems, right? 3 economic systems. One is capitalistic economy, and second, the socialistic economy, and third one is mixed economy. Okay. Now let me give a brief introduction of these 3 economic systems. So basically, the capitalistic economy, where all economic activities which are left free, anybody can produce anything, anybody can produce any services. Okay, there is a complete freedom for the producers, for the consumers, for the retailers, for the transport agents. Okay, so here how the prices of goods and services have to be determined That is very important question here. Price. How the price is going to fix in the capitalistic economy? Because all economic activities are left free. Anybody, any individual can produce anything. There is no restriction. It is called laissez-faire. Right? In this type of economy, how the price is going to fix? How the price of goods and services which will be determined? There are two market forces which decides the price of each and every products and services, right? That is called demand and supply. Demand and supply. It's very simple. As per the law of demand, as we know that there is more demand for the goods X. There is more demand for the good X. Supply of X is limited. No, there is a static supply. Supply of the X commodity is fixed. Demand is increases. Obviously, the price would be higher. Clear? Very simple. So no authority will be deciding the price under the capitalistic economy. What to produce? That is left for the capitalist. Suppose if there is more price for clothing, producers have to produce more clothing. Yeah. If there is a more demand for luxury goods have to be produced more, and more resources to be used by the capitalist in the production of luxury goods. It's simple. It's a free market economy. It is called as free market economy. No forces which will restrict the economic activities. All economic activities left free. Clear? So this is the type of economy. How these major economic problems will be tackled. What to produce? Which good is demanded? That good or service that will be produced more. Clear? Okay. So more resources have to be utilized in the production of such goods in which we have a more demand. Yeah? Okay. How to produce? So the country or an economy has more technology. In technology wise, the country is sound. Technology to be used. If the more labors are there, by providing the workers, okay, by providing the jobs for the workers, more jobs are provided and labors are used. Sometimes both labor and technology could be used together in the production process. That demands whether to be used capital oriented technology. There must be the availability of the capital in the economy. Whether the more labors are used, whether to be used more labors in the production process. So we need to understand whether the labors are available or not. Okay, so nowadays, even the agriculture activities in which we produce the goods, paddy, rice, right, wheat, even commercial crops, not with the help of labor, because it is more technology oriented agriculture activities. Tractors, tillers we use because there is a scarcity of labor. There is a migration from the country to cities. That's the reason. So that is what to produce, how to produce, whom to be produced. Whether the people are purchasing more vegetables, fruits, fruits are produced more. Simple. Which goods are demanded by the consumers? Those goods and such goods will be produced more. Clear? This is these three economic problems is solved in the market economy as per the economic system. Here, that is the capitalistic economy. Number one. So number two, the socialistic form of economy. Here we have it is a planned economic system. It is a planned economic system, right? It is a planned economic system. It is also known as it is a planned economic system where we have a central planning authority. Central planning authority which has more autonomy to decide decide what to produce. Say for example, no soaps are available, no Dove, no Lidl, no Lux. Okay, central planning authority in the socialistic economy decides to produce only Mysore sandal. No other choice before the consumers. Consumers are not a king. No choice before the consumers. But here in the capitalistic economy, consumer is a king. Okay, according to his wish, according to his or her wishes, goods and services are to be produced. But as far as socialistic economy is concerned, the central planning authority which will take the decision, which decides what to produce, how to produce, and whom to be produced. Clear? Now, mixed economy. Mixed economy is one where we have what are the advantages that we have in the capitalistic economy, and what are the advantages that we have in the socialistic form of economy. So both are mixed together and we adapt in the mixed economy. India is the best example for the mixed economy. So where we have both private and public exist together. Here, take for example, paddy. Paddy is available in the open market by 60 to 100 rupees per kg. Here, same paddy, same rice, which is available in the fair price shop. Fair price shop. Okay, in the public distribution system, government itself is providing the basic necessities, food stuff for the people who are coming under the BPL. Correct? Okay, so here both public sector and private sector exist together. Clear? So this is a form of economy that is known as mixed economy. Okay, am I clear to you? Thank you for listening and watching. Have a good day. Bye.